Maine inches closer to summer. A lot of people on the coast are still dealing with damage done in the winter.
Those twin storms in January caused millions of dollars in damages, especially to the working waterfront. 207's Don Kerrigan went to the town of Bristol, where those storms will be long remembered.
Yes, Bristol, my next door neighbor town. I know it well. Bristol is just one town, of course, but there are dozens of others along the Maine coast just like it. Places hit very hard by those January storms. The rebuilding has made a lot of progress, but in lots of those towns, there's still a lot waiting to be done. Pemaquid Beach looks ready for the season. And that is just fine with Rebecca Hink and Storm Hildebrand.
I have a tough job, you know, a very busy physical job, and this is just very calming and lovely.
But 4.5 months ago, they didn't recognize this beach after the ferocious January storms tore it to pieces. It was pretty bad.
I cried. I mean, honestly, I was just heartbroken. It was just sickening.
The beach was covered with broken trees and driftwood. But even worse, the critical sand dunes were gone, pulled away by the waves and storm surge.
This tree here was standing in here. So this is actually a whole tree that was standing actually inside there.
Bristol Parks Director Shelley Gallagher says the staff and volunteers teamed up, took all of those branches and hunks of wood, and made them the foundation to rebuild the dunes.
So we have the trees aiming into the wind with the idea that when wind blows in, the sand is going to blow into it and the trees are going to catch the sand. So it will rebuild the dunes.
In fact, you can see places where it's already started. With a little help, they hope nature will eventually bring the dunes back.
Really, the only thing that really held this building is that tower. This building is bolted to that tower.
Visitors are already coming back to Pemaquid Point, even though repairs here are not done. Because Park Commission Chairman Clyde Pendleton says they could not let the storm that bashed the old Bell House apart leave permanent damage.
It's something that we said right from the beginning, we have to bring it back to its original state so that when people come, they won't know that there's been a disaster here.
They had to replace one whole side of the old keeper's house where the storm bashed in clapboards. Other repairs have been made too, but the 128-year-old Bell House is the big one. A brick mason will start rebuilding it in early June. Just one piece of a costly recovery.
So we're 225 roughly. Yeah. So right now we're footing the bill for everything out of our capital reserve money, which will go pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So
there's enough of it to cover.
We have enough to cover it for now. Hopefully, you know, we do get FEMA money.
They're hoping the same thing along Bristol's working waterfront, which is privately owned, and where docks and buildings were devastated by the tidal surge.
And chain it down, it really can't go anywhere.
Yeah, can't lift
even
up.
If the water comes up through it a foot.
Yep.
We're still good.
So that, look at that. So that's chained into the ledge?
Yes.
The New Harbor Co-op is already rebuilding. This is what the co-op dock looked like right after the big storm. Broken and mostly unusable. And you build it higher.
We've gone about a foot to 18 inches higher.
Higher docks may be one of the keys to reinforcing this waterfront.
You can drive on this. Back 5 months ago, we weren't able to drive on it. We have not been able to take lobsters off of this dock.
This is just the first part of the rebuild, they say, but it means fishermen can come back. Just in time?
Just in time. We start pogies in less than a month. So it's gonna be really busy around here.
Dozens of other Maine working harbors had similar damage. This co-op couldn't wait for state or federal disaster money.
We used our line of credit completely and totally for everything you see here. And we had to ask for like an increase.
And Mike Pryor told us just this first piece cost them $320,000. 2 other sections of the dock are waiting to be rebuilt.
There's another $100,000.
Wow.
Just for that piece there. This piece over here is probably another 75. We're not even talking about the next dock up. That's going to be material cost, I think, was somewhere as close to $200,000.
That means this one fisherman's co-op could cost upwards of $750,000 to rebuild. It's why fishermen and working waterfront owners are anxiously waiting for money from a state grant program finally approved last month. And money aside, they wonder if anything they do will be enough to stop it from happening again.
Like I said, this building was built in 1897, and it took till 2024 to tear it down. So we'll see. But as far as anything else you can do, the ocean is going to do what it wants.
And on this coast, where storm resilience is the new watchword, that is the reality everyone must live with. Total damage estimates have been hard to pin down, of course, at this point, but the Department of Marine Resources has estimated damage to the working waterfront alone at more than $70 million. Tens of millions more, of course, to homes and businesses. And the FEMA process, the state grant process are underway. We've got some details about that on our website. And of course, just this week, the Mills administration announced a new commission to study what needs to be done to reinforce the waterfront from future storms.
Thank you, Don.